This is the 16th LeetCode challenge, and it is called 3sum closest. Given an integer array nums of length n and an integer target, find 3 integers in nums such that the sum is closest to target. Return the sum of the 3 integers. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So if you're given the numbers of -1, 2, 1, -4, and a target of 1, the output is 2, as the sum of -1 plus 2 plus -1 equals 2. Okay, and if you're given all zeros, I guess the only thing you can do is return all zeros. Num's length is a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 500. The numbers within the array are a minimum of -1000 to +1000, and the target is anywhere from, what is that, -10,000 to +10,000. So let's get started. Okay, so I've now got the project set up. So for this class, I just copied and pasted the previous challenge, which was 3sum, and I've modified it so it works with 3sum closest. So we've got inputs, targets, and expected outputs, and we just go through each list and we run it. So 3sum closest, we put an input and a target, and when it runs we should get the actual output, and hopefully that matches the expected output. So if I go back to the top, I've still got all the code from the previous challenge 3sum, so I guess let's get started and trying to go through it. So what we're doing, we have a list of numbers and we're trying to add 3 of them together so they are closest to the target. So I guess first thing we can do is, actually I forgot to change this. This needs to return back to being, which I haven't even looked here, what's int targets. Okay, so it returns an int, which is expected. So we've got int, and we'll set this as int32.max, just so we can say it's as far away as possible from the target. So what I did before in the previous one was I sorted it. I don't think sorting it is actually no, we will keep it as sorted. Yeah, we'll do that. Iterating through the list, this is the first number. If I is greater than 1, and no, we don't need this check anymore. Okay, so we're iterating through all the numbers in the first list. We start off at index 0, and the first number will go up to the second last number. So int low, that is the one above the current number we're looking at, and int high is the last number. So while low is lower than high, we are summing the numbers together. I guess in this case, if sum equals 0, which is not what we're trying to do in this one, we can just add if sum equals target, return target. Okay, I think I need to just go through and remove the stuff that's not needed. So exist, what was exist for here? So none of this is needed anymore. Yeah, we don't need the list of numbers that it is. Okay, I remember how this works now. So if it equals target, we just return, as that's closest that we'll get. Sum, if it's less than target, we increase low, else high. Right, I don't need to do that. So we have the output there. So we have the output, we iterate through the numbers, we have a high low, while low is greater than high, so they meet in the middle. We sum the numbers together. If it's a target, then we know what the output is, and we do that. Else we increase the low, or we reduce the high if sum is lower. But we also need to do a check. How would we do this? So we want to see if the current output, if the current sum is closer to the target than the current output, then we assign the new output. If output is null, or okay, right, can't do null for that. Okay, we'll have to assign it here. So if target is greater than 0, we'll do int min value or int max value. Wait, no, that's colon. So we have to have a value assigned, and we want it to be as far away from the target as possible. Yeah, that works. So we need to figure out the difference. I guess we'll just do an initial one where it's if output equals int max value or output equals int min value. We'll just do output equals sum. Else if, trying to figure out the math that needs to be done. So you have the target, we have the current output, and then the current sum. And the way we do this math depends on whether it's positive or negative. You know what, we'll also do a bool target positive equals target greater than, do greater or equal to 0. So target positive, so if target positive, So we'll just quickly change this to put the continue there and put this statement here. So the target is positive, and then we need to see if int current difference, then int sum difference, if, actually we should just put this at the very top, int current difference. No point calculating this every time we do it. And we'll create a quick function here. So if target is greater than 0 and current is greater than 0, int difference equals target minus current. If current is greater than 0, else. Okay, I realize I'm making this much more difficult than it needs to be, because there's a math function which does this. I've done this before. We'll just do return math dot abs current, like that. We will change this here. Don't need this. We'll keep that. So int sum, actually we'll remove it just so we don't have to worry about that. So int current difference equals target output, int sum difference equals number difference target sum. If sum difference is less than current difference, then output equals sum. I think that's all that needs to be done. So let's run it and see if it works. Okay, so we returned expected output 2, actual output 2, expected output 0, actual output 0. So that seems hopeful. Let's copy this code and put it into LeetCode. Then we can see if it works as expected. Let's run it with a test first, just to make sure that it is all working. Oh yeah, I forgot to include number difference there. So we'll copy that in. Run that. And that worked. But those are the same test case, I assume. Yep. Okay, now let's submit and see if it works. And that did work. And it beat 90% of other answers in terms of performance. So that was challenge 16 of LeetCode in C#, 3-sum closest. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe.